Audio check. Chat, how is it? Oops, I need to close out of this because it's creating an echo. Is there an echo for you? Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, let me go ahead and boot up the game, and then this echoey problem should be gone because I have a bunch of stuff that is running in the background. That's a bad idea if you're trying to do something for charity or with potentially hundreds of viewers. So give me a minute. Ooh, I'm quiet. How is that possible? We've had all of these noise and volume issues, and now it decides that it wants to output audio lower than normal. Oh, I swear. OBS, you are such a pain in the booty. Give me a minute. I sometimes question my humanity, and I'm talking away from the microphone, so if I'm not anywhere where I need to be, I'm sorry. All right. Let's go ahead and try to not be just a giant black abyss of nothingness. Let's get some gameplay in here. All right, so for those that don't know, I am going to be streaming Star Wars Empire at War Forces of Corruption, but I'm going to do something unusual. So Forces of Corruption is an expansion pack to Star Wars Empire at War. It adds a Star Wars Expanded Universe storyline in the single-player, surprisingly competent single-player campaign in Empire at War. I figured we got a lot of positivity with Star Wars. I mean, we just had this major event related to Star Wars. Why not play a game that represents a lot of what people look back upon and think fondly? Let me go ahead and fix some things with the... let me pause the game and let me amp up some of the audio here. We're going to, however, not play Forces of Corruption. We're instead going to go to Options. We're going to select Mods, and as you can see, I have a ton of mods. For those that follow my blog, you may recall, I play a lot of these mods. Probably, overall, I've played each of these total conversion mods more than I played vanilla Star Wars Empire at War. I played Thrawn's Revenge probably at least 50 to 60 hours. Republic at War, I've played at least 30 hours. Old Republic at War, not a fan. Awakening of the Rebellion, I quite like, but I think I prefer 2.6 versus 2.71. For the purposes of this, I wanted to show something that I think is probably one of the most impressive total conversion mods I have ever seen my entire life. I realize that is a high bar, but let me go ahead and boot it up, and then we could go ahead and talk about this game as we go along. Shoot! Okay, so that was weird. Okay, so that didn't work the way that I wanted it to. What ended up happening, instead of the game booting up my the mod, it decided to close out the entire executable for the game. It sometimes does this because Steam works for games that are more than 10 years old isn't that great. So we actually have to go back here. All right. Oh boy. So let's go back to mods. Let's try this again. And trust me, it takes sometimes 2 to 3 tries. Yep. And now it's booting up. All right. So we'll be playing the Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War, the Warlords total conversion mod. Now, this total conversion mod is certainly interesting in that it creates not only a new galactic conquest, but it adds a lot of these new factions right here, okay? Now, the scenario mode is almost as impressive as the Galactic Conquest here. As you can see, we have different scenarios with smaller missions. going from the end of the Battle of Endor all the way up to the Kamas Crisis. For those that don't know the words that are coming out of my mouth, basically we're going from post-Endor right up until the start of the Yuzong Vong Wars in the original Star Wars Expanded Universe here. Now, I'm pretty sure that I've said a bunch of stuff that makes absolutely no sense, and I'll be using this this live stream to explain kind of what I'm talking about. So we've got a couple of factions here. I want to just point out that there are no rebels because the rebels are now the New Republic. We have the Empire, which sometimes is called the Imperial Remnant, although that term technically only applies to the post-Dark Empire era, the Natasha Dalla Gilad Paleon era of the Empire. We have the Empire of the Hand, which is going to be in this area known as the Unknown Regions in the map. For whoever asked if this mod has the Yuzong Vong, it does not, although there is a New Jedi Order Total Conversion mod. That New Jedi Order Total Conversion mod campaigns you from the start of the Yuzong Vong Wars all the way up to the end of the Second Battle of Coruscant. So there is no Yuzong Vong, but if you play this last mission, it kind of leaves you with this weird sense that the Republic has won. The Empire and the Empire of the Hand have been pushed back to the fringes of the galaxy, but there's something looming coming through. So it leaves you with this kind of interesting sense of like what's coming up. So we have the Empire of the Hand, which is the empire that the Emperor created when he demoted Admiral Thrawn to the Unknown Regions, where he was supposed to pacify the Chiss Ascendancy and then basically combine Imperial technology through Outward Bound, Project Outward Bound. It's complicated. I probably will not play as them because they're the least interesting faction that I can play. We have this faction right here, which is Warlord Zinj's Empire. It's just called Zinj's Empire. He's interesting because he's a bit of a one-trick pony. The game plops him up here in the right-hand corner of the map. He has an Executor class Star Destroyer, which is basically the big one that you see in... When's the first time you see an Executor class? I believe it's Empire Strikes Back. I could be... Yeah, I think it's Empire Strikes Back. So Warlord Zinj, we'll talk more about him. The Aradu Authority is going to be in this lower center mass portion of the galaxy. Again, we'll talk more about that. The Pentastar Alignment. Now, most of you know who the Pentastar Alignment is. You just have never known which faction they are. If you played... Let me set something down. If you played Star Wars Dark Forces, you recall a Jedi with a weird visor on his head. His name was Jarek. And he was doing weird things with Kyle Katarn, and he was trying to kill you. Well, guess what? You actually were playing a game set in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Jarek is totally a general in the Pentastar Alignment. They're going to be up here in the northern upper left-hand portions of the map. They're going to immediately buttress or go up against the Empire of the Hand, as well as Zinj's Empire. The Greater Maldrude is a little unusual. They're going to be the red faction up here. For those that follow the Expanded Universe, this is going to be the Crimson Brigade. Now, unfortunately, Zero Command, which is led by Admiral Harkis, or Harker, he does not get his own faction. He gets a time-sensitive faction when we play the campaign and as the Imperials. Greater Maldrude is going to be... Actually, no, that was the Greater Maldrude. And then we have the Dushkin Lead, which unfortunately will probably not be represented in this Galactic Conquest. They are only going to be a part of the Black Fleet Crisis. They're interesting. We'll talk more about them when we get there. Basically, there was this unknown kind of like race of humanoid dinosaurs, but they're not the Suv-Ruvi dinosaurs from the Yuzong, pre-Yuzong Vor, post-Yuzong Vong Wars. They are just a completely different enslaved race that ended up learning how to get rid of their imperial slave owners and then just have a bunch of Star Destroyers and try to take over the New Republic. All right, so we're going to start here. We're going to hit Empire. We're going to hit this smaller map right here. This is the smaller version of the Star Wars Galactic campaign. Now, there's something really interesting. This is a total conversion mod of a game that is over 14 years old. Empire at War Forces of Corruption alone is almost 15 years old. I am playing 2.2.5. The next update for this game is actually coming out of June of this year. This mod is still supported. That's what's so cool about it. It's got this loving embrace of Star Wars history, and they're still updating it with content. All right, so with that in mind, let's just jump into it. I'm going to play as the Imperial Remnant, because they have a couple of interesting things that allow us to go ahead and check out some interesting things about this game that completely rehauls what we know about Forces of Corruption as well as vanilla Empire at War. Let me just do one thing in chat. Before we start, let's just chat. Audio check. Is it good? All right. With that, let's go ahead and actually set ourselves up. We're going to play as the Empire. We're going to play as Captain, which is normal. This is Recruit is easy. This is an unusual difficulty setting. It's Recruit, Captain, Admiral. We'll just play as... Yes, I will be watching chat. I have both chat on Community Endurance Run, and I have Twitch. So if you end up talking to me... I will find both. So let's go ahead and read this one more time. We have eras 1 through 5 with 83 planets. We have the Empire, which is a medium difficulty, which is normal. We have the New Republic, which is hard. I'll point out why it is hard. We have the Empire at Hand, which has an easy. I actually think that they're more like medium. We have the Greater Maldruid, which is hard. I'll explain why that is correct. We have the Pentastar alignment, which is called easy. Technically, yes, but... We have the Errado Authority ranked as hard. We have Warlord Zin ranked as medium. So we are going to cover Star Wars history from the Battle of Endor to just before the Yuzong Vong invasion, including the reveal of the Empire of the Hand. For the sake of this campaign working, they're going to assume that the Empire at Hand reveals itself immediately after the Battle of Endor, but we'll talk more about that. Okay, we will jump into this right now. All right, let me just double check. All right, we're gonna hit pause because this is in real time, even on the Grand Campaign. And right off the bat, this is the easiest campaign map, and I just want to show you how big it is. Oh my god, this thing is huge. And this is the small map. This is the easiest map on the in the Total Conversion mod, Thrawn's Revenge. And this is the smallest map. So let's talk about what we got here. So in the upper right-hand corner, we have Warlord Zinj up here. For those that followed the... Oh, God, what was that book? I'm trying to think which book Warlord Zinj was in. Oh, yeah, of course. Courtship of Princess Leia, one of the worst books ever made. We have the Greater Maldruid, which has just a book by their namesake. I think it's the Maldruid Campaign. It's a weird one. I'm not a fan of it. We have the Errado Authority, which is going to be in color white with... Ooh, Zero Command is still up. I didn't realize that they had a faction. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, we have the New Republic, which is in orange, and this is the reason why the New Republic is ranked as hard. They are basically all over the place, and this is also the reason why I didn't want to play them. I can play as them, but it'd be actually a lot less entertaining for you. So you have the Western Lobe, which is Endor, Bespin, Hoth, and Saijo, next to Mustafar, Atvaris, and Yatu the Sixth. We have Sullus just in the middle of nowhere, because. Then we have the center or eastern lobe of the New Republic. They have these 3 colonies, and if I'm not quick, they will go from Bothawi to Nal Hutta and take Hutt space. This is probably the one nitpick that I have. If you know anything about Star Wars, you know that Nal Hutta and Dasucha the 5, or Dasucha 5, you know that this is Hutt space, and the Hutts are basically their own empire. They almost deserve their own faction, but for the sake of this mod, it's just warlords within the Imperial Remnant, as well as the New Republic and Empire of the Hand. So we have the Empire of the Hand basically representing the unknown regions. This is going to probably be... So, I've had it to where the Empire of the Hand will immediately invade the Imperial Remnant. I've also had it to where they immediately go for the Pentastar alignment. We have to get a little lucky here, because if they press into... just because of how the AI works, if they immediately press into Belbringi, which they sometimes do, we're in a little bit of trouble. I'm not going to say that it's a GG on my end, but, I mean, I can handle it. It's just going to set us back by a lot of time. Of course, Battle of Belbringi. This is going to be the battle where Admiral Thrawn is shot in the back in the middle of a battle just as he was about to get the victory and bring the New Republic to its heels. It makes sense that the AI has been incentivized when it is the Empire Hand and controlled by Thrawn that he immediately wants Belbringi, but it's very frustrating when he just piles all of his Fury units, all of his units, and then attacks Belbringi, because then I have to drop everything, take Belbringi back, and it just makes it way harder for me. Okay, so... the problem with the Imperials is they're kind of spread all over the place, which is kind of makes sense. They're the Empire. They've just been defeated in Endor, and they have their resources spread all over the place. So our first order of business is to coalesce our forces into 3 or 4 more manageable, larger chunks. So we have Belbringi up here, and I'm probably going to move one of my Star Destroyer units. I'm probably going to move this one up here. And then I need to almost immediately press into Nal Hutta, because if I don't, then the New Republic will take it. And that's going to be very bad for me. I'm going to warn you all right now that I am a notorious pauser. I am going to be pausing this game a lot because... especially in the early game, this is clutch, being able to manage these. These early clicks are critical that I manage them correctly. So I'm sorry if it doesn't make for the most compelling content, but you have no idea how much of a difference this is going to make. Mission log, we have our campaign overview, and we have our statistics. So right now, our military strength is 15. We're actually one of the weaker factions right now. So in comparison, we're one of the weaker factions. We're a 15. Empire Hand's a 10. That's criminally underrated. Zinj's Empire, that's a load of crap. He should be stronger than 11. He has an executor. The Uratu Authority, 11. That's over. And other miscellaneous factions are 5. Okay. Alright, so our first order of business is to take Borealis, because that's going to be an easy get. We need to move this Star Destroyer to Kashyyyk at least. And now I need to make it quick. I've actually delayed way more than I would have liked. This is going to be dicey. Okay, I got my Carracks there. Alright, oof, oof, oof. I just love talking to you guys, or I should say everyone. I really missed the mark on making my early push game. I know that week 1, but we really needed to get into Nal Hutta before the switch to week 4, or sorry, week 1. So we're going to get immediately attacked by the rebels for Nal Hutta, which is not good. I'm not going to spend any of my money because Isard, the leader of the Imperial Remnant, is going to immediately introduce herself, and she's going to cost 10,000 credits. Okay, so where are we at? Are there any early pushes that I can notice? Now, Aha! Well, here's our first ZombiePie talks about weird parts of the Star Wars expanded universe, actually the Star Wars Legends universe. So you're starting in Era 1, your starting leader is going to be Sate Prestige, who is the weird kind of headdress wearing guy that's always next to Emperor Palpatine. He actually becomes a named character who goes on to be assume that he has the right to be the leader of the Empire. Okay, always build a barracks and then judge from there. Okay, so shoot. We are not anywhere near where we need to be. Okay, we need to get a Star Destroyer into here now because the rebels are going to hit us, and they're going to hit us hard. They're going to hit us hard. Alright, let's move here. Alright, oh shoot, did I remember to get a pre-warp unit? Okay, so here's the first thing that you need to realize. This is probably the most important thing that, even when I first played this game, I didn't know this until much later. This blue box is the most important part of Star Wars Empire at War, because this blue box right here allows you to pre-warp one unit and then warp the rest of your army later. Okay, so if I put this here, at the beginning of a battle, it would deploy all 4 of my Carrack cruisers and all 4 of my strike cruisers all at once, and it would be a little bit hard for me to manage, and I wouldn't be able to deploy my units right next to the enemies. I'd start on one corner of the map and then have to manually navigate them immediately into the battle. If I pre-warp, that means I take a unit of my choice and put it in this blue box. It will only warp this one unit, and then from there, I can warp the rest of my units into the battle manually. And I'll show you why that's important. It's incredibly important that I have those pre-warp units. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so like I said, our first order of business is actually to coalesce our units into defensive fleets as well as fleets that allow us to go ahead and prepare. In build bringing, we have to be supremely careful because if we're not, we almost need to, I hate to say it, we almost need to sell this light factory and buy a hypervelocity cannon. And I'm actually going to look and see how much the defensive structures are, because we're going to get hit. It's just a matter of when. So we need to find our fleets. This center fleet is just going to be a constant pain in the booty for me. Because I like to divide up these victory classes so as that I have 1 and 1. I'll show you my thought process with that in a little bit, okay? So in this early portions, it really is coalescing your forces, especially your ground forces, into easier to manage groups. Also, I'm going to move this collection of Imperial 2s into this unit over in Kashyyyk, because if I don't, I'm going to get obliterated. Am I excited for the expanded universe, post Return of the Jedi stuff? Oh, no, you're asking me is the post... Yeah, I like, for me personally, and I talked about this on the blog that I wrote about Star Wars Empire at War. For me, I like the Old Republic era, but I've always found the stories of the post-Endor Star Wars stuff to be far more compelling because it's more about characters that are not Jedi. The biggest problem I have with the Old Republic era of Star Wars is that everyone is literally a Jedi. Everyone important to the story, everyone important to the narrative, they're Jedis. In the post-Endor, you learn more about like characters like Han Solo, and you learn about a bunch of characters that... Why is Isard not introducing herself? This is weird. Normally Isard introduces herself. I'm going to keep playing, but I might have selected the wrong campaign here, because for some reason Isard's not popping up saying, hey, I want you to help research some stuff and get me to help the Empire. Because if I can't do the era system, that would be super, super disappointing. Alright, so let's go ahead and move you here. Let's move you here. Let's move you here. Okay, so we'll put this here as our pre-warp fleet. We'll of course give one here, one here, and then 1, 2... Ah, sweet, yes! Alright, probably one of my favorite characters out of Natasya Dalla is Isard. Basically, Sate Prestige is a bureaucrat, but he is not a general. He's well hated by all of the warlords. And then this character right here, actually, let's let her speak. Let's actually let her speak for herself.
Construction complete.
Okay, so campaign. Nope, that's not correct. Yeah. Execute Project Ambition. Yasan Isard. So if you read the Dark Horse comic book series, and you were a fan of the Dark Horse comic book series, you might remember Yasan Isard. She is going to be the Imperial Warlord that's decked out in black, or red, I should say. She wears a red uniform, not a black uniform. That basically commands the Imperial forces during the Imperial Guard comic book series. She's pretty cool. So she actually will... I'm trying to think how to describe this. She disappears, okay? She disappears because she loses the Lukshanka, which is her pride and joy, her Super Executor class Star Destroyer. So she loses that. She then disappears for I don't know how long, but it's a pretty significant amount of time. And then she comes back during the Yuzong Vong Wars, strikes a deal with the New Republic to help them out, as long as they give her command of the Lukshanka once again. They, of course, refuse because she's an evil person. And then she is killed, assassinated by New Republic agents when she tries to get a hold of the Lukshanka. I'm probably pronouncing that right, or wrong. Alright, so just want to take the time to pause and remind you I'm streaming this right here. You see this donation link? Let me go ahead and make it a little less annoying for y'all. Please, if you would, donate using that link. I realize, ooh, that white does not look good with this background. But if you could, please donate whatever you can. I know the one thing that I'm always guilty of is not pledging enough, not promising enough, not reminding people about my the fact that I'm doing this for charity. Please, if you would, use the link. I know that it's been pushed around on chat a couple times. Please, if you would, donate what you can, or at the very least, do me a favor. Spread the word. If there's any social media presence that you have, however big or small, even if it just reaches an extra eye or two, that would mean so much to me. So, I know I'm boring you to tears. So, I think it's time that I do the right thing and give you my favorite part of this game. And I give you a space battle or two, alright? So, when Isard comes in, we're going to start making our big push. We're going to start basically running roost here. I think the only battle we really need to worry about is Fondor down here. We've been building up our bases, as well as our facilities. We probably want one capital shipyard, but I also want to get the discount for Kuat. So we'll just wait for Isard to come in, and then we have an Executor class Star Destroyer right off the bat for 10,000 credits, even though, as you can see, Executor class Star Destroyers are going to cost 60,000. We're going to discount that as well. Come on, Isard. Come on. Where did I recruit her? Did I recruit her in Coruscant? Oh, she's coming. There we go. All right. So we've moved into Era 1, the actual good part of Era 1 that is fun to play for me. So I'm going to take a couple of these heroes, break them apart, and move them where I need them to be. I believe he's a victory class, so I have to be a little bit more careful about this. So I'm going to put the 2 Imperial 2 generals. I'm going to put them together, and then I'm going to move them up into Bilbringi.
Right away.
So is that I have, again, a bit more of a stronger presence in terms of protecting Bilbringi. I'm going to move Isard down here. I'm going to actually give her an extra victory class. I'm going to move this here, and I'm actually going to move these 2 strike crafts. These strike craft, not the biggest unit, but they're probably my favorite unit to use for anti... These Lancer frigates are probably my favorite screening vessel. A screening vessel means that it's taking damage, but also a screening vessel because it's good at defeating starfighters, which is a big deal, especially if you're the Empire. So we lost Callist 6 because one of our generals recently rebelled because they don't like Isard, and they are now going to create, I believe, Zero Command, Harsk, who actually creates Zero Command and is successful. This battle that I'm about to do, Isard avoids it at all costs. And this gentleman right here, Harsk, is going to basically create his own little part of the Empire down here. So we're going to jump into our first battle. Let's go. All right. So it's the Battle of Callist 6. Let's jump in. Okay, so see, this is the key. If I had not put that unit into pre-warp, it would have deployed everything over here, and I would have had to manually drag them all the way over here. And with the case of the Executor, which is this right here, these things are slow. The pathfinding is horrible. Horrible, I tell you. And you really have to jump right where you need it. And I think I'm just going to have Isard do her business and just completely destroy this guy, because I believe he's a Tector. Modified Star Destroyer with no hangar base. So he has no point defense system, so the other way I could have gone about this is just kill him with StarCraft. And now that's a GG. That is a GG. Let's go to movie mode, because this is going to be awesome. Let's go to Battle Cam. I wish more RTS games, or just games in general, had this Battle Cam mode. I realize that this specific version of Battle Cam hits and misses a lot, but when it hits, good lord, it's just beautiful. Tarkin does have a good Star Destroyer. You just never see him use it because he's always on the Death Star. But if you watch Star Wars Rebel, which in my opinion, Star Wars Rebel is the best thing to have the Star Wars name on it for the last 10 years. It's so good. Yeah, Star Wars Rebel. Star Wars Rebel is the best thing to have Star Wars or be about Star Wars in the last 10 years. See, sometimes the battle cam does miss sometimes. But it's just so cool. I could exit out and manually do this battle, but with the stakes this low, I think we're good. I did play Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. I thought it was okay. There were a few things I wouldn't have included in the game, but I liked it. At this point, that's a good question. How many Super Star Destroyers? So I actually can count them. So right now we have Isard. Artis Kane of the Pentastar Alignment is on a cooldown right now, so he's not going to show up until, I think it's week 30. So the Pentastar Alignment doesn't have it. And then Jarek's Super Star Destroyer has to be recruited, so they probably don't have that. So we're still at 1. We have Warlord Zinj, so that's 2. And I think that is it. So right now there's only 2, but when we hit week 30, the Pentastar Alignment will get the 3rd. And then the Pentastar Alignment will go from, unless the Empire Hand puts them in check, which let's check. Yes! That is great. So this planet right here is normally an important planet for the Pentastar alignment, but it appears that it's right now a part of the Empire of the Hand, which means the AI has decided to not attack Bilbringi and instead is attacking the Pentastar alignment. This planet is also another planet in the Pentastar alignment, so that means that they have officially destroyed the starbase there and are conducting an active ground campaign. So, that's good. That means that I don't have to worry about this northern front for a while, or hopefully a while. I'm still going to build that hypervelocity cannon because there's really no reason for Belberingi to be a facility that recruits ATSTs. I would prefer that we take some of these Empire of the Hand colonies or maybe the Pentastar alignment. Now, out of frustration, the Pentastar alignment, the AI, at least in Thrawn's Revenge, will do one of two things. It will cut its losses and evacuate the area and then immediately attack the Imperial Remnant, which is my faction, which would not be good, obviously. Or it will go for broke, pool all of their hero units, and attack the Empire of the Hand. Again, most people don't know what the Pentastar alignment is, but if you played Star Wars Forces, Dark Forces, you actually played a game where you're fighting against the Pentastar alignment. Jarek, the Dark Jedi with the weird visor that looks like he's Data from Star Trek, is a member of the Pentastar alignment. So you played a game about the Pentastar alignment without really noticing it or knowing it. All right, let's go ahead and move our troops here. Let's take our first planet that was not our first push in the beginning. Let's take Callist 6 because it is an early faction. It probably doesn't have anything there. So let's go ahead and we have some choices here. So we can go for broke and go for one of the hardest planets right off the gate in Era 1 in Week 5. This is gonna be tough, but I could do it. I could also... that's really my only option here in terms of giving you something where I really spend a lot of time on a battle. This is bothering me. This always bothers me. Mon Calamari has some of the best generals, foot soldiers, and starships, but the rebels always just leave all of their units on Mon Calamari and don't move them. If he attacked me right now, he would just completely destroy me. And that's usually my strategy when I play as the rebels, is take all of my Mon Calamari ships and then just start invading. I mean, I think you have 2 MC-80s and 2 hero MC-80s at that. I don't know why the AI doesn't do anything with that. Okay, so we're going to now give ourselves the Kuat Drive discount, which is a 30% discount. This is pretty steep. So let's go to our starbase. Let's see that, okay, it's basically 6,000 credits for an Imperial Star Destroyer, just a Class 1. Imperial 2s are 6,200, and Tectors, which are basically the Imperial 2 but with no starfighters, fighter squadrons but with more cannons, is 8,000. And the Executor Star Destroyer Super Dreadnought, SSD, that's going to be 60,000. And by about week 20 or 30, we're going to start basically pulling all of our resources. Now that we have Nal Hutta, we can actually start doubling up. Nal Hutta is interesting because it has one of the highest starting incomes of the entire game. So we're going to just build all of these facilities to boost up our credits. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's jump into this. So someone, I think, asked about the Maw. The Maw, down here, Bis, and a couple of other planets are blinking. That means they are era-specific planets. They will only become active when you reach the era in which the planet is able to activate. For Maw, that is era 4. This is when Natasha Dalla comes from the Maw and has her impressive fleet from the Maw facility, but there's no Sun Crusher because the Sun Crusher is horrible, and that would completely break the game if it was here. Probably my least favorite thing in Star Wars other than that time when Luke Skywalker fell in love with a ghost. We also have BIS, which will be Era 3. We will probably see Era 3 if all things go according to plan. This is when the cloned Emperor comes back and you get your Eclipse-class Star Destroyers.
Construction complete.
Yes, Luke Skywalker falls in love with a ghost, but it's way creepier. He falls in love with a ghost that possesses his student. So he's like in love with a minor that's possessed by a ghost, and he knows the ghost is possessing this minor.
Construction complete.
So, who's Luke Skywalker? So, what happens is when we hit Era 3 and they clone the Emperor, the cloned Emperor realizes, you know what, Luke Skywalker, he was a jerk face. He rejected my offer to become evil, and he threw me down that exhaust shaft in the Death Star. So I'm gonna make my evil apprentice Luke. So I'm gonna use the same process that cloned me, and then I'm gonna make a clone of Luke Skywalker, but I'm gonna call it Luke Skywalker. No, he's just an evil Luke Skywalker. He wears like evil Emperor clothes too. He's all bad. It's all bad. It's the worst. I hate the Dark Empire. Some people love it because it's just like, oh, I got a super laser beam from the Death Star on my Star Destroyer. It's like a power fantasy. It's like, if you like Dragon Ball Z, go back and read those terrible, terrible comic books where like they made like 18 Emperor clones. Why? I don't know, but they did. They did. If you want to talk about trips, man, I mean, the expanded universe being a trip, let's talk about that time when Luke joined a cult and fell in love with a blob that was like a faith healer and threatened to, like, turn people into ash if you didn't pledge your love for this faith healer guy. One of the emperors has 3 eyes and it's in the back of his head. It's weird. Yeah, you guys know more about this expanded universe. Why are you all like asking me to be the expert here? You guys know way more about this than me. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go for broke. I think I'm gonna bring all these forces together and go for Fondor. It's going to be the hardest battle in this first week, but I've been, like, dilly-dallying and shooting the shit with you guys. Yeah, sorry for swearing. I usually don't swear on stream. That's a lie. But, yeah, let's go for broke. We're going to go for broke. This is going to be a huge battle all in the first era. All right. This is going to be probably one of the hardest battles we do for a while. Yep, look at that. So he's got 2 Imperial 1s, which is going to be hard. He's got a Quasar. He's got 2 MC-80s, which are going to be tough. And then the rest of this fleet is going to be easy. So if I can get the jump on him and take out those Star Destroyers or strip them away from the MC-80s, I'm good. Luke Skywalker is definitely a lover in the expanded universe. It's kind of creepy. So I also need to hope that there's no pirates.
We've located the enemy.
Because that's going to be a GGI retreat. Okay, cool. I'll explain that when it happens, but there is this weird system in Empire at War that... if you spawn, there's the odd chance that all of a sudden pirates will pop in and they'll mess up your stuff. So I'm just going to start the way that I normally start, which is plop the Super Star Destroyer with a screen. That means basically these are going to be my bullet sponges. If I lose them, I lose them. It's not that big. These units are cheap. So I'm going to create a screen with my Executor class, and as I die, I'll plop in my Victory 2s, my Imperial 1s, and maybe my additional hero unit when we get there, okay? So that's the screen. They popped in first. That allows me to take my Executor class and basically mess up all of the units that I do want to destroy. I'm going to take out the Quasar because it's a cruiser, and we do not have fighter superiority. So This is going to be tough. This is going to be really tough if I don't play this exactly right. Okay, so we're going to take out that Quasar. That's good. Then we need to take out the MC-80. Take out the engines first. Again, I'm not going to worry about losing these cruisers, these strike crafts. They're expendable. They're no problem. They're my screen. They're meant to allow it to where the Executor class doesn't have to worry about its shields until a little later in the game. Now, this is what was scaring me. They have air superiority. You see these fireballs? These are all proton torpedoes, and if I'm not careful, all of these proton torpedoes could literally bring me from almost full shield to like half shield or even worse. So that's why I created the screen, and hopefully they bought the screen and are nope, they're aiming for the Executor class. Gosh darn it. Okay, we took out their first MC-80. That's good. Okay, how is their Star Destroyer doing? Okay, so it really comes down to if I want to destroy the Star... You know what? I'm going to reinforce the screen and put in these Lancer frigates and try and improve my ability to take out their fighters before I worry about anything. Okay, this is kind of stressful right now. Let's go for their first Star Destroyer. Actually, no. I want to take out this MC-80 because I can do broadsides. So, real quick. I have to kind of look at this ship because an Executor class is kind of complicated. I have dorsal lasers. As you can see, these lasers up top right here. These are concussion missile launchers and turbo lasers, right? Now, but look at this. Look at my broadside. Look at all of these turbo lasers. So I have a choice. I can take out these Star Destroyers and just use the dorsal lasers, which they're no joke. But if I can get a unit, if I can find a unit on my broadsides, they're going to shoot all of these and whatever appropriate dorsal lasers and missile launchers are there. So if I take out this MC-80, the broadsides and the dorsals will be able to attack rather than just the dorsals.
We're being targeted. Squad, move in. Tightening up.
Yep, that's what I wanted.
Losing power. Losing control.
Okay. We're not making our progress, and for some reason they don't appear to be using their special ability. Now I need to debate if I want to drop my Imperial 1 or if I want to still stick it. I think I want to stick it. Ooh, I forgot that I had my carrier here. We can move that up here.
Intercepting. I can't switch position. Got them.
Okay, we need to take out their engines, and we did. Alright, so it's starting to get a little hairy on us. So, how are we with these Star Destroyers? So, I'm going to plop the Imperial 1. Not really getting a good... Because I don't want to plop it over here, because then we'll be in the no-no zone. So, let me just show you what I mean by that. So, these Star Destroyers, if I plop anything over here, these two Star Destroyers could immediately point and then focus fire on those two units. So this right here is the no-no zone. If I deploy anything over here, these two Star Destroyers will be able to rip them up. If I deploy over here, I'm going to have to wait until after this MC-80 is destroyed, and then we can have pretty much the jump on them. They only have this assault frigate, this Nebulon B, and this would have to turn to face me. So I'm going to destroy this MC-80 first. Beautiful ship. I love the Mon Calamari ships. I just wish the New Republic were easier to play. Alright, they're dead. Let's get the jump on them. Let's put the Imperial 2 here, and then we'll deploy our two victory classes right here. Oops. Nope. Oh, I guess we're only going to be able to deploy one. I'll go ahead and put the frigate down here because I am worried about their airship superiority here. Okay, so we're going to pick off the smaller targets here first. The frigate. Not sure why the Executor class is messing around with those assault frigates when it should be worried about the Star Destroyers. This game is 10 times better than the entirety of the Final Fantasy franchise. I love Star Wars. It's probably one of my all-time favorite things ever. I love Final Fantasy X, I love Final Fantasy IX, I love Final Fantasy VIII in a weird way. I have to say, though, Giant Bomb community, as a moderator that has entertained you with Final Fantasy blogs, I was really disappointed by the comments in the Final Fantasy VII Switch Quick Look. Not because you guys said anything inappropriate or mean, but I just checked it and I was surprised by the amount of Final Fantasy VIII hate. You all know that was the game that was my first Final Fantasy. I love that game. What's wrong with Final Fantasy VIII? It's a train wreck, but it's the most beautiful train wreck in video game history. Final Fantasy VIII rules. I'm sorry. It's a weird game. It's a crazy game, but it's a beautiful game. And you know what? The hell with the haters. The junction system was cool. Is that my victory? Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and move down here. Yeah, but what's wrong with Final Fantasy VIII is also what's right with Final Fantasy VIII. But I love the fact that you can every item in the game is useful to you because you can refine it and make it into overpowered garbage and just not have to worry about grinding. Literally, if you play the card game, you don't have to grind. All of the grinding is opt-in. I'm just saying. If you're gonna talk about Blitzball, how it's so good and amazing, you shouldn't talk crap about Triple Triad. Alright, so now we're gonna reach basically my least favorite part of the game, which is the voice acting. It's so bad. Let's go ahead and destroy this hangar bay, and we should be good. The twist ending in Final Fantasy VIII is proof that video games have their own Tommy Wiseau's The Room, and it is called Final Fantasy VIII. Alright, let's go to cinematic mode, because this is a GG. We got him. Again, please use the link to donate. I am taking small donations as well as big donations. I'm talking about Star Wars right now. I'm talking about Final Fantasy right now. I'm doing whatever gets the masses to donate. Please, if you would, use the link. Do what you can. Now, in reality, Fondor was a rebel stronghold for quite some time. It's also the turning point of the Yuzong Vong Wars. When the Republic Alliance wins the Battle of Fondor, basically it's a turning point. It's also... oh, wow, we got their hero, too. Wow, this is that's a GG, my friend. The Battle of Fondor is actually... Sorry that I'm away from the microphone, but the Battle of Fondor is probably one of my favorite battles in the Yuzong Vong War. Sorry, I was just drinking something real quick because I'm not losing my voice already. I need to hydrate, otherwise this is going to be way harder than it needs to be. But yeah, the Battle of Fondor is probably one of my favorite battles in both the Galactic Civil War as well as the Yuzong Vong War. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I happen to be one of the biggest defenders of the Yuzong Vong Wars. And also, a lot of people may remember the Battle of Fondor as the fall of Jason Solo. Right now, chat is really showing its colors and admitting that you're all giant Red Letter Media fans, because all of these Red Letter Media fan references are delicious, and I love them, and I love you guys for loving Red Letter Media as well. Okay, let's create an invasion army and take Fondor. But we're going to use I'm not going to do any battles there because I just don't like the ground battles. They're bad. I guess I could do a ground battle. Triple Triad by far. Tetramaster is hot garbage. Yeah, Triple Triad is hot garbage. Whoever asked Triple Triad or Tetramaster, Tetramaster is hot garbage. I misspoke. Yeah, Tetramaster is bad. And I think Gino currently, Gino that Pinguino Grieco, played the actual physical version of Triple Triad that was a limited edition printing that you could get if you, like, pre-ordered Final Fantasy IX. I don't know the circumstances surrounding how you got the physical version of Triple Triad, but it was bad from what he told me. The fact that the game forces an entire chapter onto you in Final Fantasy IX where you play Triple Triad and have to get through the story playing Triple Triad is such a colossal waste of time. That is probably my least favorite part of Final Fantasy IX, is when it forces this completely unwarranted trading card episode where you're just doing cards. So let's go ahead and create an army to take Fondor. This might require a little bit of... oh, shit. Oh, shit. It said enemy fleet approaching, so where are we going to get attacked? Uh-oh. Yeah, Final Fantasy VIII is a great... Oh, god damn it! See, they did that thing. They did the thing that I thought they were going to do. They literally put all of their hero units other than Thrawn and everything that they have into one unit. They did the thing that I said that I hoped that they would not do. Ugh. Damn it.
There they are.
Aw, man. We're gonna have to retreat, and then... yeah, we can't win this. We have to retreat.
Reinforcements en route.
Damn it, damn it, damn it. Alright, so here's the,
En route.
God, and they keep spawning reinforcements. This also gives us a nice discussion of the Empire of the Hand. For those that don't know, the Empire of the Hand is led by Admiral Thrawn as he invades the unknown regions and tries to combine Imperial technology with Chiss technology. The Chiss Ascendancy are these group of people up here, as you can see. They have blue skin, but they're humanoid-like alien creatures. Thrawn joins the Imperials. He gets demoted because he can't handle the Rebel Alliance in this one short circumstance. He's sent to the unknown regions. He's absolutely successful. And he combines Chiss technology with Imperial technology. So they have some of the best fight craft in the entire game. And that's not going to be fun. They have these Syndic destroyers, which are also pretty good. And they have probably the best mid-tier Star Destroyer, which is going to be these. The Ascendancy Star Destroyer. These are going to be a colossal pain in the butt to take out.
Reinforcements en route.
Damn it. So we're going to have to retreat and get out of here and live to fight another day.
Reinforcements en route. Reinforcements en route.
So we're going to retreat.
Calculating jump to light speed. Reinforcements en route.
We're just going to have the base be taken out. I'm not going to worry about this. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal if I lose that. So we lost the base. We took a few casualties, but it's not that big of a deal. But what I am going to do, here's the good news. If I can get... Yeah, if I can get Isard into that.
Destination reporting.
Complete.
Okay, let's leave... Wait, they literally can't attack us because we have them surrounded. Okay, yeah, let's